How's it going, guys? We're back here again with some more Historic Brawl. Today, we're checking out Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca. About to say, Ixalan's coming up. Merfolk, a tribe that will be present, at least in some form. We've seen a couple spoilers of them. I don't know to what extent they'll be around, but I'm excited because Merfolk was like one of the first budgety decks I crafted on Arena. At the time, it was a middling standard deck, I suppose would be the best way to describe it. And it just kind of functioned pretty well in that like niche role. Hmm. I think we start with a Mistcaller. Because Mistcaller can sack itself. Big Kumena. Next time I want to get down Reflections of Lajara. I have had the card for a while, and I have never successfully used it in any capacity, so I want to see it work. Might just be too expensive for what it does. Mr. Oreo is going to hit us a lot, and it's going to be sad. We might have to just put down Vorinclex. Yeah, it's Vorinclex time. Old Kenny B's coming down next turn, and we can't really afford to have him stand unopposed, so something to block him if he comes down and just haste up the team. So it doesn't look like they have the red mana for that. Very neat. I would like to kill Mr. Oreo if possible. I will not trade Vorinclex for the adjuncts. They're just not worth it. Get a 4-drop here. What will it be, though? I don't know if I have anything that actually answers our problems. But we might. Doesn't look like it, though. Ideally, we want a Merfolk. Is there Svyelun? Yeah, that's fine. She's a pretty good blocker. And we get to draw a card every turn. We will block Kenny if we get the choice to. Gonna take out my my Dreamwood Nexus. I do have basics, man. So I'm not extremely worried. Although they're probably doing it to get the basic of their own choice, right? Probably a red one. I'd assume. Mountain to the next turn. Yeah. So next turn they can cast their fatty and get, or maybe they're just going for trample this turn. It might not be that complex. Who are you doubling? Draw a card. We're a little ways away from it marching. I think that's unfortunately all we can do. Mr. Oreo might murder us. I mean, I have 4 blockers. Yeah, I guess we block here and just let this flip. This could be really bad. And it probably will be, but... I'll draw a card since you're countering your own ability. In March time? That was awful. So now we have to survive another turn, and I don't know if we do that. Trample will just kill us. So GG. No re. They've literally only had to activate Kinrith's haste ability to kill us for the last 3 turns, but... Gonna draw a card opponent. And I think that's all I need to do. GG. Kinrith the Returned King. You know, I'm surprised when the Lord of the Rings set came out that they didn't use that pun for Aragorn, like an alt skin Aragorn, where it was Aragorn the Returned King, and it was just a picture of him at the end of the series. Like, that was a missed opportunity, definitely. But I guess, I don't know. Kinrith is supposed to be like the King Arthur, right? So, like, Aragorn, thematically, he is similar to King Arthur in ways, but he's also not, right? Like, he's kind of, because if you want to, like, parallel juxtapose the King Arthur story into the Lord of the Rings, you would really have Arthur be, would have to be like 2 characters, because he has similarities to Aragorn, of course, as this mythical hero who wields the mighty uh legendary blade. But his ancestors all did that too, right? Like, it's not really an Aragorn thing, it's a line of Isildur type thing. And in a similar vein to that, like, um in King Arthur's story, like, he's not seen, at least in a lot of later interpretations, as like this irreproachable figure. And like Aragorn definitely falls more into the irreproachable figure camp, right? Like, King Arthur, he made mistakes, and those mistakes cost the kingdom somewhat. Whereas with Aragon, he's kind of the reclaimant that comes afterwards. Boy, they really want me to play some ramp. I will play some ramp, game. I'll ban you. I need land, unfortunately. If I had just played the Coldsteel Heart, we could have Toskied next turn, but there's no guarantee that our opponent doesn't just slam Omnath this turn and render attacking not very useful. Kefnet is essentially the same thing, right? So we're in the stage of the elf matchup where our opponent has put up enough resistance that we're not really interested in continuing the fight. So we don't blue probably? And then we'll Coldsteel Heart on green? Yeah, so the idea with the Merfolk is you deal a bunch of damage early on with some very cheap, efficient creatures, and then you build up a mid game, and then you use a sleep or a rebuke to ooh, Johnny wordings always worry me a bit. We're not friends of Johnny. We have not, nor will we ever be friends. I don't know. Johnny is the planeswalker that, in retrospect, I've probably fought the most on a regular table of Magic the Gathering. Oh, I should have surveilled it. Okay, that makes sense. Surveil one, and you may return a life. I thought you worked like Explore, but you work a little differently. I think. I think. This here boy? This here boy. My Deeproot Wayfinder should die. It didn't, but it should have. And honestly, we don't need that rock. We gotta keep their life total honest, because if they get to 15 plus 25, 40, they kind of lock us out of the game. Exiling our entire board. Is that so, Johnny? Is that so? I think we kill that boy. We waste a turn, but we should have ordered that better. Talrand would have gotten more value that way. We're running out of tricks, unfortunately. Although Kumena can actually fill out the last stretch of the game, so we're not completely out of tricks, but we are in a bad way. Mana Rock, certainly a good use of time. Cosmos Elixir, Life Game, you love to see it. And then Kefnet, yeah, Kefnet. He's a strong boy, Mr. Kefnet. Husky has to attack. But I just want to counter everybody else. I will just Burnished Hart if it's good enough. That is 1000% good enough. So on our end step, we add the counters, and then we get 2 turns of attacking. I have assembled 5 Merfolk opponent. I don't know. The 5 requirement reminds me of old Yu-Gi-Oh! And like with Exodia, where you were trying to get 5 pieces. Like, it's not the same because it's not 5 specific cards, but just the thought in early card game design where it was like, if you get 5 of these specific things, you can do it. Like, okay, that's very difficult for it. And with Exodia, that stuff's apparently a lot easier these days, but finding a board state in Magic the Gathering where you can just have 5 of a creature type on the battlefield, the share type, is a little rough. Opponent? That sucks. Time Warp is 1000% the right call. But was it? I don't know. Yeah, it was. Our opponent has done goofed. Their opponent. I'll be taking an extra turn. And you, my friend, might just be dying. I will draw some cards. We gotta. Oh, well. GG. GG, no re. Yeah, you can go to the bin. I don't need you. Beanstalk. Opponent, have you heard of the greatest merfolk of all time? Greater of Behemoth. Because he has heard of you. GG. 25-0 in the space of 2 turns. That's a good rate. It's a good rate. That's an average of 12.5 life per turn, which I can approve of. I think we're gonna end her off there. We had 2 pretty good life games. I think we had 2 pretty good games with Merfolk. So, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.